Okay, hello. I'm going to try this again. Please let me know if you can hear me this time. So I wanted to share about how I came about the practice that I do every year that led to me opening up my group program, Reset. So when I was in my very early 20s, like 21, 22, I had a friend who... Hey, Kat, can you tell me if you can hear me? Hello? Yay, okay. So I had a friend who was telling me around springtime about, he was a Catholic Buddhist. He was raised Catholic and adopted. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Kat. He was raised Catholic but adopted some tenets of Buddhism. And he was telling me about his practice of Lent. And even though I was raised in a predominantly Christian family, we didn't really practice. We didn't go to church or really observe any of the major holidays except for Christmas and Easter. I'd never in my life heard of this practice of Lent before. And I was like, well, what is Lent? And what do you do for Lent? And he was telling me like it's a season of sacrifice. And usually people like give up something for Lent. And I was like, oh, okay. What do you usually give up? And he told me he gives up pizza every year for Lent. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess like pizza could be a sacrifice, but it really had like super intrigued me on this concept of sacrifice. And I went down this rabbit hole of what is Lent? How is it practiced? I learned so much. It was so fascinating. And then I continued to go down the rabbit hole and learned that during this period of time, there are a ton of cultures that have rituals around purification, cleansing the body, cleansing the home. You're probably very familiar with the concept, at least in the United States, of spring cleaning. And so I found it, I loved this concept of having a period where you intentionally like give up something as a means of purifying your body for whatever reason, if it's religious or not. It's like a spiritual thing or a secular thing. And so I was like, oh, what do I want to do? And so I was like, I'll give up TV, right? Because I was like, he gave up pizza. I was like, I'll give up TV. I didn't know why at the time, really why I was giving up TV. But, and I realized that eliminating television watching, which is something like I do a ton of, I am so guilty of being glued to the boob tube. I realized how much time that opened up releasing something, even for like a small period of time, how much freedom that gave me, how much time back that gave me. And with that free time, I was able to introduce, I would say, more intentional habits, more intentional ways of living my life. I read more books. I think I took up knitting for the first time during a Lent season. I taught myself how to make candles or soaps, all during like this particular season. And what I started to realize was that having like this area where I can pause and be super intentional about what I have in my sphere, and not just spring cleaning out my closet, but spring cleaning out my life by taking a pause and just taking inventory of what I have in my life, looking at how I spend my time during the day, who I spend my time with, the activities that I participate in. I would sort of like pull everything back. I would pull back if I was involved like with dance. I'm a dancer. I would stop going to class for 4 to 6 weeks, not because I didn't enjoy dance, but just to give myself some spaciousness and have some intentionality about how I was spending my time, so I could like really observe like how pulling back from these things that I spent time on, how that made me feel, and really just sitting with what came up in that space. Because when you have space, you can really start to listen to what your body is trying to communicate to you, what your feelings are asking to be felt. And so yeah, this simple, like probably goofy conversation about my buddy giving up pizza for 6 to 8 weeks. Was it 40 days? I think Lent is 40 days. Giving up pizza for 40 days out of every year turned into this really transformational process for me, of intentionality and taking time for myself. And just really like exploring like what it is that I desire, and being able to take on these new ways that I wanted to live my life. Like if something was out of sync, it gave me a moment where I could pause. It gave to realign with whatever I was really truly desiring myself. Because I don't know about you, sometimes I'll say yes to things, and in the moment I'm all in. I love it. I want to be there. I want to do the thing. And then it becomes, that excitement then becomes a habit. That habit is then what I just show up to do every day. And it's on autopilot, really, is what I'm trying to get at. Is that thing that I was so excited about, that was new and was fresh and was interesting, has now gone on autopilot, and I've stopped being intentional about it. I've stopped considering how it makes me feel, if it's actually like fulfilling a need that I still have in my life. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I was kind of all over the place because driving is a little weird when I'm chatting with you. But yeah, so that was the inspiration behind my group program Reset, where we'll take 8 weeks and get a close look at how you're living your life, what it is you're desiring to bring in. We'll talk about intentions. We'll set intentions every week about what we want to work on as a group. We'll have 5 live calls, an opening circle, 3 calls, and then a closing circle. And in between those, as a group, we'll vote on when we want to do live hot seat coaching. So if you're having an area where you're stuck and you need a little extra support on diving in to see like what's actually blocking you from making the changes that you're looking to make, that will be available. You'll have a community to love and support you and to hold space for you as you're moving through like the emotions that come up as you're stepping back from things to take stock of what's happening in your life. And I can't tell you like how I'm so excited to share this with you all. I'm so excited to invite you all into my personal practice that like I didn't really learn it. Like it was just something I built. It was something that I built and I love, and it's ritualistically part of my year every year, and I'm so thrilled to share. Link is in my bio on the top of my link tree. If you have any questions, I'm super active on my DMs and my stories. I'll post like and ask me anything in the next couple of days. I'll be sharing more over the coming 2 weeks. We start on April 2nd. What else? I'm so excited. I really can't wait for you to join me on this journey. It has been so pivotal in helping me make the changes that I'm desiring in my life and living the life of intention that I really want. And I cannot wait to share it with you. I'll see you on the other side. Bye, my loves. Thank you so much for listening.